Have you ever wondered why someone earning $80,000 a year can still feel like they're constantly running out of money? Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're lazy, and not because they don't understand the basics of budgeting. Yet somehow, every month ends the same way. The paycheck arrives, bills are paid, a few dinners out, a couple of online purchases, a subscription here, a weekend trip there, and then another month begins with almost nothing left. The strange part is that this has become so normal that many people no longer question it. They simply assume that's what adulthood looks like. But what if the biggest financial trap isn't expensive mistakes? What if it's the normal life everyone quietly accepts? Imagine someone named David. He's 30 years old, lives in Denver, has a stable office job, and earns around $78,000 a year. After taxes and deductions, his monthly take-home pay is roughly $4,900. On paper, that sounds comfortable. But here's where the money quietly disappears. His apartment costs $1,750. His car payment is $520. Insurance adds another $180. Student loan payments take $320. Utilities, internet, and phone total around $260. Groceries come to about $500. A few streaming services, gym membership, and software subscriptions quietly remove another $140. Then come weekends, dinner with friends, coffee before work, a few Amazon orders, an upgraded phone plan, a concert ticket. Nothing feels excessive, nothing feels reckless. But by the end of the month, David has maybe $150 left, sometimes less, and he keeps asking himself the same question. I make decent money, so why don't I feel financially secure? The answer isn't hidden in one bad decision. It's hidden in dozens of small ones that society has taught us to ignore. Most financial problems don't begin with luxury cars or million-dollar homes. They begin with invisible expectations. The expectation that your apartment should reflect your success, that your car should look respectable, that vacations are necessary because everyone else seems to be traveling, that every promotion deserves a lifestyle upgrade. Every raise quietly becomes permission to spend more. Economists have a name for this: lifestyle inflation. It's one of the most invisible financial traps because it doesn't feel irresponsible. It feels earned. You worked hard. You deserve something nicer. And that's true. The problem isn't enjoying your money. The problem is allowing every increase in income to become a permanent increase in expenses. Because once your lifestyle expands, it rarely shrinks. Let's look at something surprisingly small. Imagine spending just $12 every weekday on coffee and lunch. That doesn't sound unreasonable. 5 days a week, around 22 working days each month. That's roughly $264 over a year. More than $3,100. Now imagine investing that same amount every year for 25 years with an average annual return of around 8%. Instead of simply disappearing, it could potentially grow into well over $240,000. That's not because coffee is evil. It's because small recurring expenses have a much larger long-term cost than they appear to. Every dollar has two jobs. The first is what it buys today. The second is what it could have become tomorrow. Most people only see the first one. Financially intelligent people learn to notice both. But here's the interesting part. Most people already know this. So why do they still spend the money? Because money isn't just about mathematics. It's about psychology. Humans naturally compare themselves with the people around them. If everyone in your office upgrades their phone, your current phone suddenly feels old. If your friends start driving newer cars, your reliable car somehow feels less impressive. Nothing about your financial situation actually changed. Only your reference point changed. Social media makes this even worse. You're no longer comparing yourself with your neighbors. You're comparing yourself with thousands of carefully edited moments from strangers you've never met. Luxury vacations, designer kitchens, brand new SUVs, weekend shopping hauls. None of these images show the credit card balances, the financing agreements, or the financial anxiety that may exist behind the camera. Comparison quietly changes our definition of normal. And once our definition changes, our spending often follows. There's another invisible trap that's even harder to notice: comfort spending. After a stressful workday, ordering takeout feels easier than cooking. Buying something online feels like a reward. Booking another vacation feels like escaping reality. These aren't irrational decisions. They're emotional ones. Money becomes a tool for temporary relief. The purchase isn't solving the underlying problem. It's simply helping us avoid thinking about it for a little while. Unfortunately, temporary emotional comfort often creates permanent financial commitments: a monthly payment, another subscription, a larger loan, another recurring expense. The feeling disappears quickly. The bill doesn't. Now imagine this pattern continuing for 10 or 15 years. Income rises. Expenses rise even faster. The house gets bigger. The car becomes more expensive. Vacations become expected rather than special. Saving becomes something you'll start next year. Then life happens. A recession, a medical emergency, a layoff, an unexpected repair. Suddenly, a person earning six figures discovers they have only a few weeks of financial breathing room, not because they failed, but because they built a lifestyle that required every dollar they earned. Financial freedom isn't only about making more money. Sometimes it's about needing less. Now consider someone else. Her name is Emily. She earns almost the same salary as David, but her mindset is different. She doesn't ask, "What can I afford this month?" She asks, "What expenses will quietly follow me for the next 10 years?" She keeps her reliable car even after getting promoted. She increases her investments before increasing her lifestyle. She rents an apartment that's comfortable instead of impressive. She enjoys vacations but doesn't feel pressured to post every moment online. From the outside, her life may appear less exciting, but something invisible is happening. Every month, she buys a little more freedom. Every investment quietly reduces future financial pressure. Every avoided unnecessary payment creates more flexibility. Her wealth isn't immediately visible, but neither is the peace that comes with knowing unexpected expenses won't destroy her finances. That's the difference between visible wealth and quiet wealth. Visible wealth attracts attention. Quiet wealth creates options. The invisible money traps aren't designed to look dangerous. If they were obvious, most people would avoid them. Instead, they appear as ordinary habits: a slightly larger apartment, a slightly newer car, another monthly subscription, another financed purchase, another reward after another stressful week. Individually, none of these decisions seem significant. Together, they quietly shape an entire financial life. Escaping these traps doesn't require becoming extremely frugal. It doesn't require giving up everything you enjoy. It simply requires noticing the invisible forces influencing your decisions before they become permanent obligations. Because financial security rarely disappears overnight. It usually fades one small payment at a time. And in exactly the same way, it can be rebuilt, one thoughtful decision at a time. If this video helped you see money from a different perspective, consider subscribing for more calm, practical conversations about personal finance.